Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marsharaj and I post on here. I am a booktuber and I also am a book lover. I don't post like super consistently right now, but I just wanted to do like a monthly recap on what I read in March and honestly April so far, which has been a lot because I've also been reading I've been listening to audiobooks, which I took a long break from doing, but I finally started doing that again and that got me through so much books so fast. So first of all, I wanted to introduce you guys to Fable. If you haven't used Fable, this is my Fable. It's just my name. I honestly don't even know how you probably can just look me up. But I have a club on Fable called International Book Club Babes. And we have 3 readers. I haven't even checked. We're currently reading A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I'm super excited to get to this book when I do get to this book because I'm currently reading Yesteryear, and after that I'm going to read A Dowry of Blood, and that's our book of the month. So if you have Fable, make sure you join International Book Club Babes. It's for all ages, all genders. We do all genres, but honestly it's mostly fiction because I'm a fiction girly, but sometimes we'll do nonfiction, you know, just depends. So yeah, make sure to join. And if you've never used Fable, it's way better than Goodreads, and I actually fully switched to Fable from Goodreads because it's just more updated. There's also like chat rooms and discussions, and like if you opened it in the app, they have like each chapter, a chat for each chapter where you can literally chat and be like share your thoughts or ask questions, and other people in the club can answer or whatever. It's really, really fun. And no, I am not sponsored, obviously. Have you seen my following? Anyways, I am not sponsored, but I love Fable that much that I am going to tell you about it as if I am. So, currently reading this month, before I get into my book, ratings for March and April. I'm currently reading, like I said, A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I'm actually not reading it yet. I'm currently reading Yesteryear, which literally just came out, and I will talk about it as soon as I'm done. But you guys, it is so good. It is not something I would usually like, but because of how the author wrote it, it's so good. Hang on. Okay, I'm so sorry. Because I have my fan on in the back. I just realized that, so you're gonna hear it for the first 5 minutes of this video, but it's about to turn off and hopefully you won't hear it as badly. I do also have my AC running in the living room, so hopefully that won't get picked up on the mic, but whatever. And then after I read Yesteryear, I'm going to read this book, obviously, and then Blood and Roses by Callie Hart, brand new book that she just released as well. I did start it. It's completely different from her other books, which you guys might know her from Quicksilver and Brimstone, which is fantasy, dark fantasy romance. This is dark romance, but not fantasy at all. So a little different. I don't hate it, but I'm not far enough in to have a proper opinion, to be honest with you. It's just completely different from her other work. That's all I can really say. And before we get into the last thing I want to say is my DNF for this month was Dorothy Must Die by Daniel Page. I tried. I really, really tried, but I couldn't do it. It's basically about a girl named Amy, and I mean, you can see the description right here. And she lives in Kansas, and it's modern times, because as you know, Wicked and Wizard of Oz was, back in, I don't even know when at this point. And so she's like the new Dorothy, but she has to kill the actual Dorothy because basically she's corrupt and took over Oz and is ruining Oz. And so Amy has to assassinate her, basically, is the plot. Good plot, good thoughts. I like where she was going with it, but the writing sucked so bad. And I don't know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So let's get into finally what you've been waiting for, which is my ratings this month. So I forgot to do this again. I always forget to do this. Okay. 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, and like I said before, anything below that is basically a DNF, but I didn't DNF any of these, to be honest. So we're not gonna do a DNF. And we're not gonna do I guess we'll do a 1. Yeah. So here, it's not that many books that I read this month so far since I last made this similar video, which was actually rating all of the books that I ever read, and I think I posted that in March at some point. But this is what I read / listened to so far since end of March / beginning of April. I want to do a book haul video because my birthday just passed and I got a bunch of books. So I eventually will be recording a book haul video when I look decent enough to be on camera. And that is not today. So let's start with... Okay, we'll start with this because I just made a whole entire video about this book, and it was my last video, Tender as the Flesh. Morbid, okay? Completely fucking morbid, but at the same time, are we able to make this bigger? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, 5 stars. Like I said, you guys can watch my last video to see what I actually think, because I'm not going to go into that again because I spent a whole last video talking about it, but 5 stars, as you know from that video. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. So to be fair, I only watched a YouTuber read this, and it could have been really biased. So I didn't actually read the book. I essentially was watching like a summary, and I would say it sucks. It's trending and it's new, and I think everyone should still read it to develop their own opinions. And again, my rating is not fair because and I didn't rate it on Fable. Like, I marked it as read on Fable, but I didn't actually rate it because of the fact that I didn't actually read it, which I feel a little bit bad about. But I got the plot. I got the gist of the plot and the story, and like, I wouldn't ever honestly read it. I don't think it's interesting. And I also don't really understand why all these authors are trying to do Hunger Games vibes right now. Like, obviously the last few years, new Hunger Games movies have been coming out in books and etc. And I just feel like other authors are trying to take inspo from that because they see that it's doing so well, and they're trying to make their own version, which is fine. But I just think that it's like if someone was trying to make, like, Star Wars. Like, if someone was trying to make books inspired by Star Wars, but, like, they were not anything like it, despite the fact that that was their inspiration. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So again, my rating isn't fair, and I'm putting it as 1 because I didn't like the plot, and from the video I watched, that was a video summary. I did not enjoy it, but still, maybe check it out if you want to. Next is going to be That's Not My Name. I listened to the audiobook of it, and it is so good, and the plot twists are crazy, and I don't usually like books that involve kidnapping or like anything super realistic like that. But this book was, and I mean like minors getting kidnapped by like old creepy men, okay? But this book was an exception because it was so good, and not to mention the person who read the audiobook, or actually was it 2 people that read the audiobook? Because there's a guy and a girl. So yeah, I think 2 different people were reading the audiobook. They did so good. So it sold me. Definitely should read it. It is phenomenal. Okay, this story might save your life. 5 stars. It's a mystery. It's also new, I think. It's a mystery, murder mystery kind of, and the plot is amazing. It's about these 2 podcasters, and they were best friends, a guy and a girl. They lived in Los Angeles and started a podcast. She was married, he was married, and then they had their podcast, and they always kind of had a thing for each other, but they were super, like, they never admitted it, or they didn't, like, it just was always bad timing, essentially. And then the female main character, goes missing, and so does her husband. And so the male main character, which is her other, like, the podcast host, he goes looking for her, and there's a whole police investigation and a missing persons case, and you figure out what happens. It's not what you think, and it's gripping, and you don't want to put it down. It is 5 stars for sure. Okay? Yeah. And honestly, going back to That's Not My Name, I actually give it 4 stars because I just remembered. I'm not gonna give it any spoilers away, but the ending was not, I was really disappointed in who was alive at the end and who was not alive at the end. But I can't give you anything else besides that because then I would literally be spoiling it for you. I will say, like, I'm happy with the ending, but I wish that, like, there was a little bit of a different ending and, like, I would change that. So, 4 stars. But really, it's 5 stars. I'm just being annoying because my preference is, yeah. Next, Caught Up by Navessa Allen. As you guys know, I love her books. But I'm gonna have to give this one 4 stars because nothing will ever top Lights Out. I'm sorry. Lights Out was her best book. Caught Up, second best book. And Game On, third best book, which I will also give Game On 4 stars. So for Caught Up, the reason that I gave Caught Up 4 stars is because I love the main characters, okay? I love the storyline, the plot, everything. I love that Navessa Allen includes LGBTQ plus characters, and I love that she includes, like, the female main character is basically, like, an OnlyFans model. Like, that's what she does with her life, and I like that she put her in there like that. Like, that is so important. Like, sex workers need better representation. LGBTQ plus needs better representation. And I'm really glad that she includes characters like that. However, my only gripe with Caught Up is that I feel like the story could have been better. Like, feel like it could have been more depth. There could have been more depth. But none of them are as long as, actually, yeah, none of them are as long as Lights Out, and I just feel like Lights Out is always going to be the best in the trilogy, period. And I'm also sad. I'm sad that there's not going to be any more for this series coming out. Yeah, I think that Josh, and now I have to look it up because I forget. Okay, it's like midnight here, so Josh and Allie are always going to be the OGs, and I loved their story so much more than I think I loved anyone else's. Game On, 2 main characters. I liked the female main character. The male main character is obviously an arrogant asshole for most of it, but you figure out why. But I think obviously, well, like, none of her stories are realistic. I mean, like, the odds of any of this happening to anyone, if you've read any of these books in the trilogy, are like very slim to none. It's not realistic, it's fiction, right? So, but like, I liked it, I loved it even, but again, the depth, I feel like some of the plot just didn't make sense, and I would have to go back and tell you specifically what I'm talking about, but I can't because I'm not going to give away spoilers. But I just feel like she could have done better with these two, and I like how at the end, like, they're all entangled and they're all like friends, but yeah, I don't know, I feel like she could have just done so much more depth with the storyline with these characters, like how she did with Lights Out, where they literally, like, the plot is so good and it's just like so different and so much more depth, and I feel like she kind of slacked off with these two a little bit compared to Lights Out. So I'm a little, still good. Still recommend reading, of course. Next, The Handmaid's Tale, 3 stars. I'm currently watching the show, which is just a really fucking dragged out version of the book. And honestly, I'm at this season, I'm at like season 5 or something. So it's not even like in the book anymore, okay? Like, the book has left the chat. Like, they are now making up their own shit for the show. The book is good, but like, so sad, obviously, if you've heard about anything with The Handmaid's Tale, or watched the show. The book is a quick read, it's not that long. I listened to the audiobook in, I think, a day or 2. So, pretty quick. I just feel like, God, it's just so fucking depressing, and I hope it never happens. And that's why it's 3 stars. Writing, great. Character, she's okay. I mean, honestly, she's better in the show than she is in the book. I definitely prefer the show over the book, which is weird. My only gripe with the show is that I wish it wasn't so dragged out. Like, there are scenes where they're just, like, moving in slow motion, I swear to God. Like, it does not need to be taking this long to get to the point. You know what I'm saying? But still, the show is really good, despite how dragged out it is. And it's also a little bit scary, and I had to take some breaks when I first started watching the show because it was freaking me out a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was giving me anxiety because I thought that, of course, it's so unrealistic. It seems so unrealistic. But with everything going on in the world right now and how shitty it is, I just feel like it's not that far off. Like, honestly, I hope to God, knock on wood, that everything in this book never happens in real life. I hope we will never have to suffer through that type of backwards ass fucked up reality. And if we do ever have to, girl, I will go down fighting. I will not submit to that bullshit. Anyways, you guys gotta check it out. At the very least, check out the book, but I think the show is better. But yeah. Now, My Husband's Wife was another one just like Silver Elite where I watched a summary. Essentially, it was like a read with me for a YouTuber did, and like she gave, you know, the main plot points and kind of told you the whole thing, but like it can be biased. You know what I'm saying? I wish I put 2 on here. I'm gonna give it a 1 because what the fuck? I don't know. It's just, again, it's not a fair rating on my end. Like, you guys should read it yourselves and come up with your own rating and not base this off of my rating because I didn't read it. I listened to a hour or 2 hour long YouTuber read it and tell us what was happening. But like, I think that it, you know, definitely had a lot of twists and a lot of unexpected like turns, and if you're into that type of thing, like, of course there's murder, honestly, the plot is crazy, but it just wasn't my type of, to be honest. It was a little bit all over the place for me. So next is The Good Lie by A.R. Torre. That was our book of the month for book club, and for my book club, not for the international one, but for my local one. And I, of course, rated it 5 stars. Quick, gripping read, murder mystery, super good. Loved the main characters, loved the plot, like just everything was 5 stars for me. And everyone should read it, period. Last but not least, we have the classic Wuthering Heights. I'm obsessed with Wuthering Heights. I watched the movie, and then what I did was I actually read Emily Bronte's, whatever, Wuthering Heights, a retelling by Tanya Landman. I bought that book. Gives you all the main plot points. And then I just started listening to the audiobook, but I think I'm gonna buy like the physical copy and read it thoroughly. The retelling that I bought is basically like translating a lot of it to more modern English because of the fact that like it was written almost 200 years ago. It's not modern English, so it's a little bit hard to read. So the retelling was essentially just like the main plot points and a few other things as well thrown in there so that you could get the gist. But I'm obsessed. I want to read the actual book and like thoroughly read it, but it's going to take me a minute because it's Old English and it's a little bit hard. So yeah, that's basically it. That's what I read. I know it's not a lot. I'm actually still, obviously it's still April, and I'm reading, like I said, 3 different books right now as well, which I'll probably do. I'll rank them in my next video that I do like this. But yeah, so make sure to join Fable, or even if you don't want to join Fable, I have an Instagram, but follow me on Fable if you want to, and also join International Book Club Babes on Instagram. We also have a Discord, and of course Fable and Facebook. So find us on there, and please join. We have a virtual meetup once every single month. It's a brand new club, so I'm like, got barely anyone joining, but that's how it started with my local one, and then it just blew up. Okay, so we gotta start somewhere. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching these videos, of course. Make sure to subscribe if you love reading, and let me know what you thought. If you've read any of the books that I talked about today, or what you thought of any of them, or what you're currently reading, and what you think of the books that you read in March slash so far this month in April. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.